Welcome back to Travel in Style. Today we're going to review the Carnival Horizon. We were able to take the Carnival Horizon in December of 2023 for a Christmas family cruise. So we're going to go through the four categories again: disembarkation, embarkation, service, food, and ambiance, and let you know how it went. So starting off with embarkation. On the time of our cruise, there was a bad storm in Miami, and the cruise ships were about 3 to 5 hours late to come into port. This really threw off the entire embarkation experience. We were told to stay off the port's grounds until the ships were in port and we received communication, which we did so. So we stayed at the mall and waited for the word from the cruise ship, as many other travelers did the same. We had the earliest embarkation time, so we were thinking when we would arrive in the cruise port 3 to 5 hours after our supposed time when we were allowed to come on board the property. We were thinking that we would be the first ones to be able to on board uh, e- to uh, to embark on the cruise, but this was not the case. It was pandemonium. People who had the latest times or were scheduled to arrive at 4 p.m. were arriving at 4 p.m., as well as people who were supposed to be there at 2 p.m. were there. And of course, the earlier folks, like myself and others who had the 11 o'clock embarkation time, we were also there. So everyone was there at the same time, and Carnival did not do anything to ensure that we had the right amount of support to create crowd control. There was no crowd control. Needless to say, it took us about 2, maybe 3 hours to get on board the Carnival Horizon. And to be honest, Carnival never recovered from that throughout this entire cruise. We'll save the disembarkation for the end. Let's go to service. For service, this takes a look at this room steward, takes a look at how we are treated by the bar, the restaurants, as far as how the staff at the restaurants engage with us, and any other type of customer service issues or concerns that we may have. So during this cruise, it was a Christmas cruise. You would think people would have a lot of Christmas joy and cheer, but that wasn't necessarily the case. In fact, the Santa Claus that was there did not seem to have much of the Christmas spirit. But through it all, our steward was decent. We had a decent room steward who made sure our room was in the right way, and the service that we received from the dining room, the MDR, was decent. We were given what was called anytime dining. We usually will have a time slot which will go to the dining MDR on a consistent basis, but because of this, we really didn't get real good relationship with the servers there. So, we do have some food allergies. So, some of the times we had to repeat some of the allergies that we had, but nothing was too egregious here. Overall, for service for the Carnival Horizon, I'm going to award them a 7 out of 10. For food, well, when it comes to food, I'm definitely a big fan of the Guys Burgers on Carnival. So this is no surprise that the Guys Burgers was awesome and just as delicious, the best burgers at sea as it always is. We had a chance to go to the Fahrenheit, I believe 451, one time, and the steaks were phenomenal. Excellent steaks in that steakhouse. The other food, however, in the MDRs, did not come up to the same level of Guy's Burgers and Fahrenheit 451, but it was not bad. But overall, I would give the food on the Carnival Horizon an 8 out of 10. For the ambiance, the Carnival Horizon is not the newest Carnival ship, but it's not the oldest. Overall, it has a very decent decor. There's some nice touches, some plants, fake plants, but they're little trees in the buffet areas, and overall everything is kept up at a high level. I would say that it's not going to be as fancy or as elaborate as NCL or Royal, but it's not bad. It's right. It's solid. So for the ambiance, I'm going to award it a 7 out of 10. Now we're going to come back to the disembarkation. The disembarkation, as bad as the embarkation was, the disembarkation was even worse. There was no organization at all. We were brought back to park, the wrong part of the port. In other words, our cars were parked at one port in Miami, and the ship docked in a different port, causing us to have to all the folks who were on board who had drove down to have to be bused to a different part of the Miami cruise port. And if you've ever been to Miami's cruise port, you know that it's already kind of crazy. And everyone's temper with the entire experience of the 7 day cruise really reached a boiling point where passengers were coming to fisticuffs in the disembarkation part of the cruise. There was only one Carnival staff member, but no one did anything to prevent the amount of anxiousness and just frustration that was being demonstrated by the customers through this entire disembarkation experience. So, when it comes to disembarkation, and embarkation, I'm going to have to state that Carnival Horizon has earned a 2 out of 10. So, overall, Carnival Horizon for me is going to get a 6 out of 10. I would not likely ever book Carnival Horizon ever again. I still stand by that there are some Carnival ships that I think are really well ran, but this was not one of them. And it's unfortunate because it really is a nice looking ship. But again, I'm going to give Carnival a 6 out of 10 here. Let me know if you've traveled on the Carnival Horizon. What was your experience? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're going to travel, you might as well travel in style.